You ready, man? All right.
We're ready.
So, Carlos, I've discussed a series of questions, man.
Bring it on.
Easy. And first thing, I want you to introduce yourself, and I want you to tell us why you're here, where you are today.
All right. All right, Carlos Machado here. I'm the eldest of the Machado Brothers. We are 5 brothers, and I've been here in America for the past 33 years, right? 5 years in LA, and the remaining 31 in Dallas, Texas. Jiu-Jitsu is my life, my mission, and they call me the godfather of Jiu-Jitsu in the Southwest. I guess when I came here, you probably remember you were one of the first of my students. It was a journey that I didn't know what the outcome would be. I always see Jiu-Jitsu as a work in progress, never a job done. So now I have an organization with over 150 plus academies, spreading my idea of Jiu-Jitsu and coming here to support Sebastian Mejias, who is also one of my black belts. It's just something that I love doing because I love to see the replication of my mission throughout my black belts. And his grand opening and expansion is just a testimonial to his effort and commitment. And I think we all change lives. And for me, I feel blessed with the fact that I can now see not history, but the results of history. It's still while I'm still alive. I don't have to wait until I get too old to see the fruits of my passion manifesting in the lives of others, including instructors like Sebastian that model my job and fulfill my mission in their own right.
That's awesome. That's great. That's awesome. All right. Being a parent yourself, you raise kids, and coming from the first family of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, big family, how important is it for you to tell the story to other parents about what you believe in martial arts?
Mm-hmm. All right, so the message is simple. All right, if you don't believe in yourself at any stage in your life, you're depleted of, in my opinion, the most critical element for you to become a successful adult. And being a kid and doing martial arts is such a strong component of self-confidence and self-esteem. And a lot of the problems that originate, for me and my family, it was a happy sibling rivalry. All of us started together kind of at the same time. I had peers from the Gracie family, my beloved cousins, and my instructors were also from the Gracie family. So it was a natural, consequence of the circumstances. I was born into it. So for me, I didn't think much of it. But then throughout my life, I've seen the changes that happened in every single person without a fail that did martial arts. In particular, I believe Jiu-Jitsu because it has a component of longevity and camaraderie that sometimes is hard to match in other styles. So for me, and I think too the element of what's on the mat, off the mat as well, the values that we create, that we carry on. So my kids, they had no choice. They did until they were in their mid-teens, and then after that, I give them the option to go whichever direction they want.
That's awesome. So if you had one message to give to a friend or a parent about training, getting someone involved in the martial arts, what would that message be?
You cannot conquer others unless you conquer yourself. And Jiu-Jitsu in particular is something that you really have to come to terms with the reality of life. Life is not comfortable. So you have to be uncomfortable in order to be resilient. There's no other way. And I think with Jiu-Jitsu, there's that parallel, the hammer and the nail. No matter what stage you are in your training, you always have other people that are going to give you a hard time. So it keeps you real. So I think the message for parents is don't shy away from physical contact, in particular when it comes to Jiu-Jitsu, because Jiu-Jitsu, you learn in degrees, so you don't have to get hurt or injured or handicapped in your training because the art in itself is gentle enough that even under resistance, you can navigate the challenges and pursue a long path that becomes not just a practice, it literally becomes a lifestyle. It becomes part of your life. So having something like Jiu-Jitsu as part of your lifestyle, that's the difference between having a crutch and a pillar. A crutch is something temporary that fizzles. If you take a pill for a headache, if you don't, it's a symptom. Martial arts is a pillar. Whenever you need it, it's going to be there for you. So I would say, hands down, you should not hesitate.
What does it mean to you to see, like coming to the school today, to see all these people here training under Sebastian Allen, to see all these young kids, parents, and adults doing jiu-jitsu, and to see that, does that give you a special feeling or anything?
Yeah, no, for me, I feel like my ambition is still so great in regards to what I want to build and accomplish. I want the whole world, if I can manage, to do jiu-jitsu. Or I want every human to have an experience like that. So when I see somebody like Sebastian, that encourages me. All my black belts who replicate and follow through and want to become instructors, it's a joint effort. And they always say, right, if you know 6 people, you know the whole world. They have that measure. So there's no telling out of those kids and adults that were on the mat today, how many of those actually will be influential to other people in their lives, whether they're instructors or not. A self-confident adult will be likely more successful. So that's a better parent in the making. That's a better, provider in the making. I don't know the extent of the effect because we see the immediate, but there's the ripple. So I think we change generations, actually, when you have somebody who really gets involved with it.
That's awesome. That's great. What else I got, Carlos? Yeah, I think that's it. Actually, give me one more intro, and I want to know how long you've been training, how long you've been teaching.
I'm going to tell you a story. It was the story of my first lesson in jiu-jitsu. I was in a sky-rise building in downtown Rio de Janeiro, and the first Gracie Academy out in Rio. And no other than Grandmaster Helio Gracie was the instructor to teach me. And he taught me a great lesson. He was a great instructor, but he was not lenient. He would send you a strong message because he wanted you to get it. So one of the things I remember is, first lesson in jiu-jitsu is stand your ground. He grabbed me and dragged me all over the mat until I was able to hold my base. That's all. And I didn't know if I was about to cry or what to think of it, but I had the sense of trust because I felt deep inside he wanted what was best for me. And I never forget that lesson. And I was blessed to have that experience, okay? So this is a guy who is the patriarch. He's the one that's close. He's the source right there, with his elder brother, my uncle, Grandmaster Carlos Gracie Sr. So having that experience with him and then going and training with the other greats from the Gracie family, Carlson Gracie, Grandmaster, late Halls Gracie, the champion of the Gracie family. Then all my peers, and my cousins, and then my brothers, the Machado Brothers, were all the introduction to a martial art when your family is the one doing it and teaching. There's such a degree of passion involved because you want to make your relatives proud of yourself, not just my parents. I want everybody to be proud of me. And then the sibling rivalry, having all my brothers doing, we kept each other in check. If one of us slacked on the mat, the other one would get the upper hand. So we literally never missed a class, not so much because we wanted to be committed. That was part of it too. But we didn't want to be lagging behind when it came to the healthy competition that we had amongst ourselves, okay? Now, my thing is this. I found out early enough that I did have a passion for teaching. Okay, I went to law school. I was invited to be actually part of the tenure as an assistant to the teacher, in my law school. But I was already an instructor in jiu-jitsu for several years. 1981, 1982, I became officially an assistant instructor at the academy I was training at in Rio de Janeiro. And I was a blue belt. And that has been my path ever since. And for me, Carlos Machado realized when you teach, you're not just teaching martial arts. You are becoming also a mentor. You're teaching people about life. And martial arts is the language that you use. My brothers taught me how to be humble because they had what it took to keep me humble. My uncle, Carlos Gracie Sr., taught me how to be humble because there was a life lesson that he passed on with his example. You know, and my dad taught me what it is to be a family man because everything that he did, being a high court, Supreme Court judge, you know, in the state level, all he did was for us. And us coming to America was just a natural flow of a mix of circumstance and opportunity. My brothers and I had accomplished back then in the 90s everything we could in Brazil. And jiu-jitsu was not big enough anywhere. So coming to America was literally the wisest decision we ever did because if you're going to make it big, make it in America. And the rest of the world will hear you. So I'm not sure if that...
That's a great story, Carl. We got to do this documentary one day.
Yeah, we will.
I think that's it. But what I'd like to get, man, is I'd like to break the fourth wall and have Carlos come sit in. Like, can we get wider and just have him come sit down?
swap lenses.
Okay. So I'm just going to